If they do it, I promise on this podcast to buy every single Emporium item till the day Sea of Thieves shuts down.
Welcome to the official Unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast, a podcast dedicated to Sea of Thieves and other rare games, but mainly Sea of Thieves. Today's episode will be the last episode of 2022, which sounds sad, but it isn't, because it means we are doing another wishlist video. These are always fun to do because we can be creative and wonder at all the possibilities that are never going to happen, like hippos, sea serpents, and three-dimensional villains. We will not only be discussing my wishes, but also those of my co-host or wonderful guest and those that submitted their messages in a bottle. But let's first listen to some other wonderful voices, beginning with the one from my favorite co-host.
Hello guys, it's a Shiny Ray again. The feels really close. Well, we only just recorded the last episode, didn't we? So it's a bit of deja vu for me. But yeah, hi guys, it's me, I'm back.
Always great to have you. And we are not alone. Well, we're never alone. But we're even less alone because we also have another special guest.
Hi guys, my name is Ambrossa. I'm a content creator and a self-proclaimed bard of the Sea of Thieves. And I'm here on this podcast.
Oh my god, we have a content creator on our podcast. That never happened before. But you're a bit special compared to the other content creators, right? So tell us what your content is about.
I don't know if that's really special because I'm not the first one doing it. But my content is about creating cinematics, more like machinima type of videos, where I create characters and stories. I also create songs. I create videos for those songs, that kind of stuff. So it's just what I do.
I think
that's great.
I think you've sold yourself a bit short there. Weren't you featured on the Lost Sands Twitch stream?
Yeah, I was. So, it's when I created my. It was a double-edged song for and against Saving Golden Sands, sung by two of my personalities, Ambrossa and Sinister Ambrossa. But that's like a whole story. So, but yeah, I was featured. I was really surprised.
Which one's the evil persona? Is it Ambrossa or Sinister Ambrossa?
Sinister Ambrossa is the evil persona. He's an absolute madman. Just a crazy guy who does whatever. You never know what he's gonna do.
That's original because we have content creators that do update videos and reviews and whatever, and then you have the machinima creators, but you have an ongoing story, right?
Yes, my story. I have a whole story planned out for my characters. I have origin stories ready and in the works. So basically, my characters are kind of a part of the larger Sea of Thieves story and are also a part of a larger story created by other content creators, namely Creator Playthrough that you had on the podcast already. So he is my biggest inspiration, my greatest friend that I create content with, and our character stories are intertwined and so on. So I try to adjust my stories according to his stories, but also my characters have a story of their own in the Sea of Thieves universe.
Sounds complicated. Did you choose to do this because it's kind of hard for the watchers, or do you have a different view on that?
Yeah, basically when I started creating videos, I was inspired by Playthrough. So that was the whole thing that my first machinima video, my first like real cinematic video was built on top of one of his videos. And that's how it all started. And I don't mind being part of this like universe created by two creators, because a lot of our viewers are also like we have like cross viewership. I don't know. I know it's difficult for people to probably like follow two channels at a time to get the whole story, but I don't know, I kind of like it. We call it the Spunk Silver Cinematic Universe.
That makes sense.
It's just like so crazy. It's like watching Marvel movies. Like you have to follow Captain America, and then you have to follow Iron Man, and then you have to follow the Black Widow and the Hulk, and then everyone else, and then they all come together. So it like later on, you need to know all the backstory for all the movies, or you're left out. You don't understand what's happening, but it's just a part of an ongoing story. I do have standalone videos and plans, but I also want to progress the story that I created. And I'm not really chasing numbers. Like I do this for me. I don't want to like earn money from this. I do this because I like it. So I honestly don't care that much if I get like 500 views or 5,000 views, as long as I like the video and as long as I progress the story that I want to.
Yeah, that's the best motivation as well. Like sometimes I'm also thinking like, shouldn't I push my videos more? But I'm like, nah, I'll be less happy if I, don't spend another day on it working and be happy with the video I put out.
It's
Um,
what really annoys me about YouTube, as all of us we can buy into this, is that I've had people say that, oh, you need to make a video for your viewers and respect their intelligence and stuff. And the worst thing about YouTube is that that's complete bullshit. You have to feed an algorithm if you want your videos to be picked up. And what's quite frustrating is that videos like yours, Ambrossa, and playthroughs, etc., have pure like love and care and quality put into them. But you can just shit out a video about the latest news in Sea of Thieves with a clickbait title, and that'll get picked up by the algorithm just because it generates clicks. It doesn't matter once someone's like clicked on it and they click off. It's not the quality of the content, it's what can draw the most views and the most eyes, which is really frustrating about it. And you've got the right idea where if you're just doing it as a hobby, you don't get caught up in all that. But it's also quite sad that YouTube originally it was originally made to feed creativity and for people to express themselves, and sort of moved away from that, which is really disappointing. But to finish my point is, sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there. It's nice to have people on. Not saying that our guests weren't like this before, but it's nice to have people on who use this as a creative outlet purely rather than a monetary gain, or to sort of gain like fame or followers and subscribers and stuff.
When I started, I was not making machinima videos. I mainly made gameplay videos, like just short clips of me PvPing, even though my PvP was not the greatest at the time. It's not that it is like super great now, but those videos did way better than any machinimas I have created. I had videos with hundreds of thousands of views that I have unlisted from my channel now, just because I thought that those videos don't reflect what I want to make, and I want what I want this channel to be. Because I was actually starting to make like actual like money, like at least like a couple of hundred of euros a month, and it felt good, but it felt good for a very very short while because I was just not happy with the content that I kept pushing like day to day basis. So yeah, I made a complete change of my channel, and I just focused on what I liked, and it made me a happier person and a happier pirate. So I think that's what's really important.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, there's videos I make that I really love to make, and they don't do as well, but they're nice creative outlets. And there are other videos that I simply have to make, and sometimes they do funnel viewers into my sort of more creative content, let's say. But if I could, I don't know, maybe I could just change to doing complete lore videos, and I probably will at some point when I'm bored of talking about other things. But at this point, like, it's really hard to strike a balance between the two of them. But if you're like completely going for your creative outlet and that's your goal, I'm very jealous of that. Just to put it straight.
Well, I mean, some people like what I do. I still get people, especially now in season 8. The season 8 really brought out that possibility to meet an incredibly large amount of people over a short amount of time. And I've been meeting people who know me, who like my videos, even though I am not a big content creator, like on the scale that we have content creators that create Sea of Thieves content. I'm just like a tiny gear somewhere in the whole content machine. But I still meet people who like my videos, who have at least seen one or two. They know me, and I meet people that I know, and it's like a really fun thing to just come together, even on a battlefield. Sometimes even to stop a fight to have a chat, and then continue the fight on after you do. So, I mean, I like that about season 8, and I think It's like a good place for people to meet their heroes and for heroes to meet their fans and for like legends to meet other legends. It's just so fun.
I was very gobsmacked when we bumped into you, to be fair. Because as soon as you boarded, I knew exactly who you were. Because I saw the name and the pirate was like, oh my god, I can't believe this.
Exactly. It was the weirdest thing. Like I was like, this brigantine. Okay, let's fight this brigantine. Like we were ready to ready to battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go for a board. And I wait a minute. I know who these two are. And I was so shocked. I couldn't even like properly PvP anymore. And then I just see you running in my face with a sword, and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
It was hilarious.
I was so gobsmacked that I didn't even want to fight. I was like, oh my god, like these are the guys. That's Blubber and Ray. I've been wanting to meet them. I just wanted to meet them for like forever.
No.
And then, I didn't want to sink. I just wanted to hang out. So I am happy that we called truce.
I was like, oh my god, oh shit, it's Ambrossa. It's Ambrossa.
That was our reaction.
Yeah.
It's good though, because all our pirates are pretty recognizable. So it's just nice to get those interactions.
Yeah, it's great.
I think that's a good tip if you want to be a content creator, especially on YouTube. You need a recognizable pirate. Because, I don't know, like, you will get recognized on the seas, but you want to stand out between, like, the sort of cliche outfits. And I think we all cover that ground, don't we? Like, you know, Blubber's the big fat guy with tattoos and the beard, who looks a bit like Captain Blubber. I've got the stupid, like, face paint on and the, like, fucking massive shoulders with a fat belly and the Ashen Curse. And Ambrossa's got the sideburns.
Yeah.
The sideburns are my favorite bit, the mutton chops.
Yeah, I very much created my character with the idea in mind, because I had a different pirate before I started creating content. And when I was thinking about doing it, I was like, this character is not going to work. I don't even like it too much. It's time to make a change. So I bought the potion and I spent 3.5 hours just scrolling through pirates until I found the one, that my current pirate, which is probably going to stay with me forever because, I don't know, I love everything about it. And I created it from this idea of what would a pirate be if like a modern day rock star got teleported back to the golden age of piracy. Like what would he dress like? What would he look like? And I just went from there and created what my pirate is now. And when I had it, I loved it so much that I realized that I want to promote, like I kind of wanted to promote him to turn him into this, like, I think of my character Ambrossa as a bard. Like he's just a musician on the Sea of Thieves. He's like not a hero. He's not like a super, like a fighter. He's just a bard. Some dude. And I advertised his looks in my videos. I always tried to show my pirate over and over and over so that people would recognize it, because it's kind of what I wanted to do. So I guess, yeah, looks really are important.
You obviously succeeded then, obviously.
So to keep the flow a little bit going, you were already on some stuff we were meaning to ask. But one question is, would you still make content on YouTube if Sea of Thieves didn't exist?
I think I would make content on YouTube. I actually have plans to make different content on YouTube, but I don't think that it would be anything related to gaming. Because Sea of Thieves was the only game that actually made me think that it could be like a base to create some interesting stories, to use the game to shoot like actual interesting videos, voice act over it, make good stories. I never felt like that while playing any other game. So yeah, that was the first. So I would still make videos, just a different kind. Not related gaming.
Interesting to know. Well, it's a good thing Sea of Thieves does exist then.
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite video game of all time, at least currently.
Did you think last year was a good year for Sea of Thieves?
I think you mean the 2022?
Yes.
I think it was the best year ever.
Mm.
I mean, okay, I'll be honest. I properly started playing Sea of Thieves in 2020, at the start of 2020. Even though I was an alpha tester way back in, I think, 2016. It's a whole long story. The game was not available in my country. I couldn't play. Back then, a VPN was really not a thing in Lithuania. We, we were a third world country. It's a whole story. But when the game got available on Steam, I started playing in 2020. So I can only speak from my experience that I had from 2020. But looking at that, I think 2022 was the best year Sea of Thieves ever had. I loved the content overall. I loved that they added forts. Forts was a thing that I really, really wanted to see in Sea of Thieves in one way or another, especially after the Pirate Life Tall Tales, when we had that taste of like what Spanish forts look like, what a town in Sea of Thieves would look like. I was going crazy for the idea to have those things in the main map. And update by update, they started adding everything that I was thinking of. They added forts, they added Legend of the Veil with the whole last big fort battle, like a destroyable fort. That was crazy. Obviously, captaincy, they did that. We all wanted it. Ray especially wanted it. I don't know if it was as grand as everyone like hoped it to be, imagined it to be, but still, nameplates, naming your ship, saving cosmetics, loved it. Like that was what I wanted. We got that, and now we
Right.
got season 8, the PvP update that really changed everything, and I think it's for the better. And now we have New Golden Sands, which turned from a outpost to a town, and that's just crazy because I wanted a pirate town for a long time. So yeah, 2022 was absolutely wild, and I think 2023 might be even better.
Aye. And let's talk about 2023 then.
Hang on,
Because
hang on.
that's. Oh,
Blubber, do you
yeah.
think 2022 was a good year for Sea of Thieves?
Oh, yeah, amazing.
The best? Haha, I put you on the spot now, haven't I?
Yeah, you did. It's tough because what Ambrossa said as well, we have this PvP update, which is really changes the game. And then Fort were nice, but captaincy is something that needed. We got it. Yeah, it might be the best. Yeah, it might be the best. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
You?
No, it's not the best.
What's your favorite year?
Dear
Then?
God.
2018 is my favorite still. If we had Tall Tales instead of Adventures, it would be much better. If there wasn't all the problems that got caused by the captaincy delay, even if there was the delay and we didn't have the issues, we had just had 3 seasons. Yes, but since that 2-week delay, we've had a problem with basically every build that's come out.
Yeah, that's true, but those are temporary. Like they're usually fixed after a couple of weeks. Like captaincy was extremely buggy in the beginning, but now it works fine. Nobody complains about it anymore.
Well, people do complain. I don't know why they're still having issues, but could be them, could actually be issues, but I haven't had an issue with captaincy in a while, apart from the logs not showing the names. But yeah, it's just every time there seems to be an update, something goes wrong, and it's fine if it's once or twice, but every single patch we get or like adventure, there's been an issue. But yeah, that's the reason why I've marked it down really, and adventures being a bit of a thing. But yeah. I'd put it as second best, even though Anniversary came out in 2019, but, you know, the rest of 2019 wasn't the best. I think 2023 should be where Rare hits their stride with these seasons and adventures. Should be.
We shall see. We have been getting a lot of teases with Yorp again, so...
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens.
So, 2023 then.
Hi, let's keep the segue going. And let's start with our honored guest, because we're going to discuss our wishes. Like we have, each of us has one wish for 2023, and after that we go to the message in the bottle. But let's start with your wish, Ambrossa. What is your number one wish for Sea of Thieves in 2023?
Okay, so my number one wish, it's the thing that always keeps me going, or it gets me down. It makes me want to play the game, and it makes me not want to play the game. It's the cosmetics, and my wish is to get a massive cosmetics update.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, so how are you looking at it now? Like, are you disappointed with the cosmetics we're getting, or what?
Okay, so basically, I'm not gonna lie. It might be just me, because I view a lot of games more as like fashion simulators, because I always like to see new clothing options. I like to see new weapon skins. I like to see like new ship parts, whatever I can get my hands on. I want more choices to create the fashion that I like, which also adds to the point that we talked about before, making your pirate unique, stand out, memorable. The more options for the community, the better. The more different and unique pirates with their own looks and their stories we can have. And yeah, just cosmetics play such a huge part in my motivation of the game. So, for example, right now, I am somewhat motivated and not at the same time. For example, I think when Season 6 rolled out, when we got the forts, right? And we got like a whole package of new commendations, and all we got for the commendations were doubloons.
Yeah.
I freaked out. I was like, what do you mean? We're getting Spanish forts and we're not getting any like cool Spanish like clothing options from those commendations? Like, I delayed grinding those commendations out for such a long time because there was no real reward behind it. And I think Sea of Thieves really stands on that. It really stands on that pillar of the player needs to be rewarded for the time they put in, and cosmetics is the only way to do it. We don't have level upping here like in like some other games. We do have commendations, we do have ranks, but those don't change anything. The only real change you can bring to your pirate is to get different cosmetics. And I think every action that you do in the game should eventually reward you with something. So what they're doing right now, for example, I like this, that some of the past commendations are getting rewards attached to them, like the Frostbite set we just got. Like, there's the new Frostbite weapons and equipment, and they're tied to like commendations with like humble gifts and generous gifts, that sort of thing.
The most fun ones.
Yeah. So yeah. So I like to get rewarded for something that I do, and I think most of the time the game lacks those rewards. And it also commits to the whole idea of doing content until you get like that commendation and not doing it ever again. Like, I don't remember the last time when I visited a shrine. The shrines are cool, but there is like other stuff I need to go do to get the commendations that I want, to get the cosmetics that I want.
I get it. So your wish is also to have it retroactively, like the past commendations, they need to be attached to cosmetics?
Maybe not retroactively. I'd actually love to see like new commendations that you have to grind out that is attached to like older content. So you would get the new cosmetics, for example, if I already grinded out, because like, for example, I grinded out all of my commendations for the underwater shrines. And if they add new clothing, I'll just get the new clothing. Of course, it's just me. I try to grind out everything, but some other people might not.
You're not motivated to get that trinket for all the shrines? For all the treasuries?
No, I don't know. The trinkets, I'll be honest, the trinkets didn't really motivate me that much. I don't know why. I'm motivated the most by clothing and weapons, because that like adds most to your actual character.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And I think we all agree on this podcast, right?
Well, you've put a coin in me now, Ambrossa, because I'm very passionate about cosmetics, and my
Yeah, we can talk. We
Uh,
can talk about it.
well, I was going to ask you a few questions then about your
Oh,
opinions on
absolutely.
things.
Yes.
What did you think about overall then? You touched on the cosmetics, commendations not having cosmetics tied to them in season 6.
Yeah.
And obviously the season pass of the Spanish officer stuff, didn't it? The naval
Yes.
officer. And then we got Legend of the Veil. And we got the Pirate Lord's peg leg, 2 pieces of the Servant of the Flames set, and the ancient weapons. And obviously we got the costume as well. And those legendary weapons also, forgot about those. Do you think that was enough for Legend of the Veil? Did the
No.
rewards make sense?
No, it was not enough, and it didn't make sense. I was absolutely shocked getting level 30 in Athena. It's a big grind.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big grind for me, and I play a lot. Not like I don't play that much anymore, but when I had the time, I played a lot, and it still was a big grind. So for an average player, that grind is like really out there, and you complete it, and all you get is the costume. And I don't know if we really want to go into the whole costume thing, because I have a very strong opinion about that one. But
Let's
tell us.
open the can of worms,
Yeah.
Ambrossa. Speak your mind. This is a safe zone. This is a safe space for cosmetics.
Okay, safe space of cosmetics. So I think the costumes are the absolute worst decision they could have made with allowing people to get new clothing in the game. Like the whole picking up the whole costume strips you away from anything that you really had that was unique about you. Some more than others. I can understand some costumes, like the Reaper costume, where you have to represent the specific faction, the Reaper pajamas. Fine, I get that.
Yeah,
but
was
I would,
the initial intent, wasn't it, for those
yeah,
costumes?
yeah. Just you put it on. It's with a mask and everything. You are like an assassin sent to do whatever. You don't want to show who you really are. I get that costume, but I think those costumes should have been just a few for a very specific faction, specific reason. And now the focus is so much more like it's just so much more onto making new costumes. We get them with every Emporium update. Most of them are completely horrible and out of the style of the game. They don't match with anything that any of the NPCs wear. It bugs me out a lot. I don't like when I'm fighting another ship and I board the ship and I see players dripped out in some super goofy, weird Halloween themed cosmetics. I just want to kill them so much more. I don't like it. Like it really takes away the immersion, and so I do love immersion in my games. I know it's not for everybody, but I don't know. I think focusing on creating lots of costumes, and let's be real. Most of the costumes are extremely high quality. If you took them out of Sea of Thieves and placed them in Fortnite, you could ask top buck for that skin because it's a nice quality skin. It's well made, looks good in a different scenario. Everything is fine with it. But when you take it and place it in Sea of Thieves, it breaks the immersion for me. I hate that some of them, like some of the costumes, are so much more well made than the clothing that we get in the game, like the separate clothing pieces. I think that's a problem. I buy most of the ship sets in the Emporium. I buy everything that I like in the Emporium just to support the game. But I think the costumes are just not the way to go, and they could be focusing on something else instead.
Well, yeah, you've just hit the nail on the head for me there. So we use an example. So we didn't have the cosmetics, or several examples. We didn't have the cosmetics for, let's say, the forts, because maybe they were moved to the season pass. Maybe Rare don't have time to make cosmetics, etc. We get to season 7, and we're missing loads of furniture from the captaincy catalog, and there's some in the trailer that just don't exist. And they had 2 versions that were removed and changed as well, which were like reskins. I think it was the Forsaken Ashes and the Wailing Barnacle or something like that. And then we get to season 8, and Pirate Legends get all this stuff, and they don't do the whole. They do the skeleton curse, and you have to use the mix and match pieces. It's basically a customizable costume, isn't it? And then we don't get the burning blade and things like that. And all the Reaper clothing goes into the season pass. What frustrates me is that, and I'm not stupid, I know that the Pirate Emporium needs to exist, but when you're making like 16 costumes a year and 16 premium ship sets with alternate figureheads and sails, and then you turn around and go, oh yeah, we couldn't get that sorted because we just don't have the manpower. When the game is based on complete cosmetic progression, you can't turn around and not give stuff out. And to Rare's credit, after that, the panel, Louise Roberts is now working for all the unreleased cosmetics, and they're being dripped out to us, and we're eventually getting more stuff. But my worry is, when we run out of all that stuff that's unreleased and all the recolors, are we going to get cosmetics anymore?
Yeah, that's a really great point. Because I wanted to talk about the panel and when they really pointed at Louise and said, "Hey guys, if you have anything that you want with cosmetics, go to her." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I will." And I know you rated, and I did, and lots of other people went in there, asked about the unreleased cosmetics that we have seen in trailers. Like, so they're in the game, they're in there, but we don't get them for some reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then we end up, having all this content, which in a cosmetic progression-based game should be rewarded with cosmetics, and then they're not. It's a bit upsetting.
Mm.
I know that some people don't care. I know that some people are in there just to like fight, explore, get the money. I know most people will be fine with the amount of cosmetics that we have, because let's be real, the general Sea of Thieves player base will not really have enough gold to buy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that we dedicated players can do. So that was one of the points when I was on the Sea of Thieves subreddit, and I had this like meme made about lack of cosmetics, and some people were coming at me and saying, "What do you mean lack of cosmetics? Like Sea of Thieves have so much cosmetics, like I'll never be able to buy them all." And I'm like, I already bought them all, and I want more.
That's the difference between longtime players like us or people that put in the hours versus the new swabbies.
Mm-hmm.
Like our problems are just different, and they are the bigger player base. So if they're happy, then they're not going to change it anytime soon. That's maybe a bit too pessimistic, but I got my fingers crossed still. Don't get me wrong.
The one that rubs me the wrong way the most is that it'll be 2 years plus since we had our last brand new cosmetic set that wasn't a recolor, and it was a full set as well.
Yeah, that's true. So let me ask you this, Ambrossa. What cosmetics do you want?
What cosmetics do I want? Okay, so we have been teased with the whole Grand Maritime Union arriving in Sea of Thieves for a while now. The biggest tease was the Sovereigns coming in and how like doing all the sneaky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love the Grand Maritime Union to just come into Sea of Thieves, but also with them bring a lot of like the golden age of piracy themed cosmetics that are at least somewhat accurate to the real world, all the fancy clothing, like all that kind of stuff. I want to see that. We already have some of it with we got a few sets from the season passes. So some of the sets are like, they look great. But I want more. I want a lot more of that. And I think, Grand Maritime Union themed cosmetics would be really the thing that I'd love to see. And another thing, which is also related to cosmetics that I dream they would add, but they probably never will. At least I have read somewhere that they already addressed it on some occasion and said that they're not planning to do it. But I would love the option to showcase your weapon on your pirate without having to actually draw it out. For example, have a sword to your side or have a blunderbuss on your back. Like we have this one character on, which island is it? Oh my god.
Deadshot Charlotte.
Yep. Yeah, she has a sniper rifle on her back. Why can't we? I understand there's clipping issues and everything, but they managed to solve clipping with like cosmetic clothings on like all sizes of pirates. Why can't we have something like that on our pirates. Maybe do it as simple as World of Warcraft did. Just strap it to the side and let it hang there. But I just want to see it somehow represented on your pirate. Like what weapons do you use?
Hmm.
Or maybe
Gotcha.
hide them if you want, but if you want to show them off, show them, because I'd love that. I think it would look super cool.
It's a
Yep.
shame. It's a shame too, because in like sort of quintessential pirate media, you have depictions of like Blackbeard with all his pistols on his chest.
Yes.
You've got like Edward
Yes.
Kenway in Assassin's Creed 4 with all the pistols and the sword. You know, you see in Pirates of the Caribbean as well. They've got their flintlocks attached to them and hanging off them. And it's a really cool aesthetic. And I think that was sorely missed when this game was developed. That people are going to want to look like. I know they went for the goofy element, but you can make some badass pirates. But that option would have been like fantastic, and I completely agree with you there, Ambrossa.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would have looked really cool. I think the biggest problem with it would be that different sizes of pirates would have to draw their weapons from the place of the body that the weapon is placed at. For example, if you had to reach over the back to get the blunder, the animations would look goofy on large pirates. Or just like pulling out the sword, how would you make it look good? And I think that's probably why they dropped the idea, because it was just too much work to make it actually look good and to develop it on all the different body sizes. So
How does Deadshot Charlotte do it? Does she grab her
No,
eye
it's
of
just
reach?
strapped.
Okay.
To
yeah,
her
it's
back.
just strapped to her back.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I guess they can just make it disappear when you grab it, and then just make it really small and enlarge it like they do with the shovel and the buckets and stuff like that.
They could. I would be absolutely fine with that. I don't need no fancy animation. Just let me
Aye.
run around with my sword by my side, and when I pull it out, it can just pop in my hand. Whatever.
Aye,
I'll be happy.
indeed. I totally agree with that. Anything to add to that, Ray? Cosmetic jewelry.
I
Yeah.
want to wear a bangle and rings and like a necklace and stuff, and I think that was another missed opportunity.
And make it sound too like you
Yeah.
jingle when you walk. Yeah, that's great.
I love how Flameheart's got that. He's got the obviously full sleeve. Actually, I quickly noticed this in Seabound Soul and Return of the Damned. Both his sleeves are like gone, but when you see him in game now, he's gotten his sleeves completely back, like it is depicted in the concept art. But sorry, by the by, I really like that bangle he has on his right arm, and because he's got a bare arm, it looks like really cool.
Okay.
And like, I don't know if Ramsey's actually got it in the game, but he had the black ring, didn't he? That the Gold Hoarder stole. There's a black diamond in it. I want that sort of thing, you know, like massive rocks and gold and chains, loads of shit like that. I think it'd look really cool.
Aye. Or maybe like
it needs
cut out her eye and put a jewel in it.
Or maybe remove both of them and put veil stones in there.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great, and you know, have hair on the skeleton curse as well. That'd be nice.
Aye.
And dark adventure jackets. And what? Sorry.
Striped pants.
Oh yeah, no striped pants, and we need a chef's hat as well.
Aye, indeed. Great ideas. Great ideas.
Good.
So you're done, right, Ambrossa, with your wish?
Yeah, more or less. I think I've talked enough.
Okay. So let's go to your one now, Ishane Ray. What's your wish?
So they're both the same wish technically, but they're also variations of the wish.
All right.
I want Tall Tales back, and I want a season with 9 Tall Tales, just like Shores of Gold. Or 10. 10 would be nice.
That's interesting because before you talk further, we actually have a message in a bottle that's very similar to that one. So let me just pop it now. This one is from Ilwash. He says, my number one wish for Sea of Thieves in 2023, no more adventures, have a tall tale per season instead. So do you feel that sentiment? No more adventures, but a tall tale a season? Is that something you would want?
A Tall Tale a season would be nice. A season based on Tall Tales would also be nice. Do I think it's going to happen? No, not unless we get Pirate's Life, which we probably will.
Yeah.
But a more realistic wish in that case, I want an arc where we work with the servants. With the Reapers, and we have to work with them. None of this, like, you choose and then you have to work with Athena's Fortune the very next month. I want it to people to be forced to look into Flameheart's backstory, get those 2 characters fleshed out in the Reaper's Bones, and then we can have a decision. Like, I'm just a bit fed. It's not that I'm fed up with working with Athena's Fortune. That's fine if that's consistent. It's just that when we get to these choices and we have to pick between Athena and the Reaper's Bones, Like, you're not really getting an immersive experience if you're always helping the good guys. And it's
Yeah,
not
I
just the
agree.
Reaper's Bones. I think you should be able to work with like the Dark Brethren and stuff when they introduce the Catman, just to sort of make this less red versus blue, less black and white. It needs to be more nuanced as the story was before.
Yeah.
And I think allowing you to work with other factions and forcing you to do that sort of brings more balance and makes it, and I think it will enhance these decisions where people will become more like invested because they know a bit more about the other side. It's like, oh, I don't want to fight for Flameheart because it's evil, and it's like, well, actually, he's like this because the trading companies, and he has this backstory. Oh, I don't want to fight for the captain because he wants to end the pirate's life. Oh, he was actually like ruined by the pirate's life. This is what he wants to do. I think it's great for the role playing all around. So
Mm.
if I can't have
So,
Tall
so
Tales, that would be better.
okay, so let me get it straight. So you prefer Tall Tales from the Reaper side over Adventures?
I would take Adventures from the Reaper side, but
Over Tall Tales.
if I had to choose, I would have
Yeah.
Tall Tales, and we do all the Tall Tales with the good guys, just as long as the bad guys are fleshed out in it. But
Mm-hmm.
if when we're staying with Adventures, because Tall Tales aren't coming back, I would like an arc to spend with the Brethren, working with the Brethren and the Reapers, like separate arcs.
Yeah, it's a clear answer. Do you feel similar, Ambrossa?
Well, I can't say that I don't like adventures. The biggest problem I have with adventures is some people will just simply miss them. I'd love there to be some kind of a way to replay them. Maybe you can't get the mementos anymore, but at least the option is there to experience the story, because adventures were created because they wanted to. I think they just wanted to force themselves to really propel the story further, and like creating adventures really like makes them do it. But I think, yeah, the replayability is a problem here
Yeah.
because they create some really cool stories and assets and like options to do stuff in the game that was not there before, and then once the adventure is over, it's gone,
Yeah.
like the Reaper rowboat. So I don't like those things, and I
Yeah.
think they should introduce a way to replay them.
Yeah.
Maybe force them to turn adventures into like Tall Tale slash adventure kind of thing without the rewards, just to get the story.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I think that's a great idea. Just remove the reward, but make them replayable. Like at first, I was like, no, it's fine that they're exclusive because, like the Shrouded Deep, like you had to be there. Like, yeah, too late. Somebody saw the Shrouded Ghost, you didn't. It's fine. That's their reward for being there. But then we had the Herald of the Flame, which is a continuation of Heart of Fire, and then I was like, no, this is not fair because people will play the Heart of Fire Telltale, and then they can never play the follow-up to that Tall Tale. So, I totally agree with that, Ambrossa. That would be great to see that. You'd prefer that over Tall Tales then, I'm guessing?
I don't know. I love Tall Tales. Tall Tales was one of the first things I ever completed in Sea of Thieves. I got the gold curse before I started grinding out anything else, I think. So I love Tall Tales, but I also like the idea of adventures, just coming in few times a season just to get the story going.
Hmm.
If they could somehow turn them into Tall Tales but still have them often, so the story is not as stuck as it was like a few years ago when there was like no continuation of the Flameheart storyline. I want the story to move, but I also want to replay it. So if it could be Tall Tales, I would be more happy than if it was just the adventures as it is now. But
Yeah.
if it could be replayable adventures, I'd be also fine.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, I got that.
just to sort of add to this Tall Tale / adventure discussion, because it comes up all the time, doesn't it? And this is really sad, actually. Now that I've thought about it more, so when I was making my last video, I put the Shores of Gold music, the becalmed version, right at the end, the like best version of it. Some say the Glitterbeard one is, but opinions. It just made me think like the only time I've had a moment like that was when you fight the Shrouded Ghost and Pendragon appears and the music kicks in and all like the ghost ships come in, and that's a really cool moment. But other than that, there's been no point in the adventures where I've gone, oh my god, this is just so amazing. I can think of loads of parts of the Tall Tales, like obviously the Shores of Gold ending, getting to the Shores of Gold, fighting Grey Marrow. You've got, when you go into not the cave. I'm trying to think now. See, it's obviously that memorable. Or like going into the underground cave to put the it's the Shroud Breaker stones in the thing. Is it N13?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
You've got Pirate's Life, like Lords of the Sea. You've got the bit when you find Jack in the tavern. You've got when you dive down to the Sunken Pearl. Seabound Soul when you release Flameheart at the end, or when Jim gets cursed, or like even swimming down into the Heart of Fire. Like there's loads of moments like that. And Adventures has done that once in coming up to 10 adventures now. Or is it 11? 11 adventures. And that was because it was replicating something from Hungering Deep. And I think that's what the adventures miss, are those moments that you think, oh my god, that is just pure Sea of Thieves. That is pure adventure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, I just thought it was a little bit sad is all.
But it seems that we're gonna get both of them in 2023, so I think we can be happy with that.
Sorry, what?
It seems that we're gonna get both Adventures and Tall Tales in 2023, so I think we can be happy.
You think we're getting Tall Tales?
Yeah, well, another Pirate's Life Tall Tales set, right?
Do you reckon that'll be in July? The season, season 10?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. That's my prediction at the moment.
Then I don't know how to feel about that, because it's like, oh, Disney gets Tall Tales, but your own universe doesn't.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'd rather have it another way, that's true, but I wasn't unhappy with the Pirate's Life Tall Tales, and you weren't also, so it's fine. I think it's fine.
It depends how much it interferes with the story, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll see.
Could we stop here for a moment? Because
Sure.
I think I really missed something. Are we getting new Pirate Life Tall Tales next year?
Oh yeah, the orb teasers are here again.
Oh my god, I watched the first orb teaser when they started. I haven't seen the other ones yet.
There's nothing that confirms it. It's a tease, and it's a line like the servant says that it seems that something always, dead men will always have tales to tell, which is like a reference to the first one.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to be back on track, because I was listening and I was like, oh wait, what information do I not possess here? What do you guys know?
But now we're all caught up, and this episode will release a couple of weeks later. The listeners will know what we're talking about.
That's good.
Oh, it's like, sorry, to stick on that teaser, I'm like,
it's fine.
Is that a tease, or is Rare just like giving us a red herring there? Because
it is really obvious, isn't it?
I feel like because we already knew about A Pirate's Life 1, they'd be more inclined, and Disney would allow them to tease the second one.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is,
but we also had
will the captain be Captain Hook, and will Tinkerbell be in it?
Oh, shut up!
I bet you it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but Jack's gonna make a return as well, right? I mean, going from his last words. So we have then Jack Sparrow and Captain Hook and Tinkerbell all together with the lore of Sea of Thieves. That's a bit...
God, imagine Hook being the captain of the Burning Blade and Flameheart betraying him, and then it's Captain James Hook versus Captain something Flameheart. No, please no.
I guess you guys are not really into that Captain Hook theory.
No. I'd rather have it to be a Rare character or something originally. Like, I like Rare better than I like Disney, so I want it to be a Rare character.
I think tonally, Pirates of the Caribbean is a bit closer to Sea of Thieves. And I think Peter Pan is a bit far from that tone, it's too Disney.
Yeah,
I can agree on that one.
But
it's
Mike Chapman knows best, and he loves Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I loved Pirates of the Caribbean even before Sea of Thieves was a thing. So I'm okay with Jack Sparrow being in there. I mean, I actually loved it, but yeah, Captain Hook might be a bit too much.
Oh, don't get me wrong. We both love the Tall Tales. We both love A Pirate's Life for what they are. But
yeah,
the whole, I was a bit upset that we had to wait more for Flameheart, and then there's the prospect of Flameheart's canon story being...
It got shoved aside.
It got shoved aside and rewritten for that, so...
Instead of Heart of Fire Part 2 Tall Tale, we get, a watered down adventure.
God, when we got those leaks of Sunken Crystal and Dark Brethren, I thought this is going to be more Flameheart. And I was really in two minds at E3, but it was still great because no one knew it was coming. And I hope we don't know it's coming again. That would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. They didn't really have a choice when they got an offer from Disney to be like, yo, guys, you want to put some Pirates of the Caribbean in your game? I mean, could they have said no?
Well, they pitched it. They pitched it to Disney.
Oh, so they pitched it.
Yeah. Disney liked it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's good. It's good for money.
It's good for money. It's good for the getting eyes on the game, I guess, to expanding the community.
Yeah. It did.
It's good, and I love the Tall Tale, so I don't think it's bad. But yeah, too much. Yeah, I'd rather see the Flameheart storyline, the Grand Maritime Union storyline, the Brethren storyline, getting wrapping other stuff up before introducing.
But they'll probably mix it with their own lore again. That seems like a very rare thing to do. So I got no worries there. It's not going to be only Hook and Tinkerbell or whatever.
East India Trading Company teams up with the GMU. Captain Hook teams up with the Brethren.
I don't know.
Jack Sparrow teams up with the Thieves' Fortune. And then who could we have for Flameheart? Maybe like Barbossa? Or, I don't know. Yeah, probably Barbossa because he's a skeleton. There we go. I've done your crossover for you.
Okay, I don't really hope so. I hope it's a bit more contained. That is a big element, but after Tall Tales we're done and we can continue the story as is.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
So I don't want to keep it in mind again, but
yeah. So anything more to add, guys?
Well, my wish. If you guys are ready
that's
for that.
That's what I was. Yeah, I got to ask you, haven't I? Got to be introduced. So,
all right,
Captain Blubber, what is your wish for 2023? And don't say hippos. Don't say hippos.
No, hippos. No, I'm not going to say hippos. I'm not going to say sea serpents or striped pants because those are all old wishes. Like I got a new wish. It's very typical me. I want legacy islands. I want to visit legacy islands, like legacy islands of Rare's past history. I want to go to Treasure Trove Cove. I want to go to Dragon Skull. Island in the Pendragon games. I want to go to Viva Pinata Island and see all dead pinatas and I don't know. I just want to go to Legacy Islands in this game.
That is a little bit expected, but also a bit unexpected from you. So, we know you love Rare so much, and I would be inclined to agree. I would like that as well. I think it would be really cool, and I love the callbacks in Sea of Thieves to other Rare games and the Easter eggs like Captain Black Eye. I put it to you then. I know what you're going to say. Would you like a Salty Hippo and Blubber's Bane ship set in the Emporium?
Oh yeah, of course. But the only thing I want for Salty Hippo is a figurehead. Like the rest of the ship is very plain. And I guess they can make it hippo related or something a bit more fitting with Banjo-Kazooie games. But I just want the figurehead, that's all. And you can make it a reward for visiting Treasure Trove Cove in an adventure or something like that. So yeah, there we go.
So would Treasure Trove Cove be on the map or like a little, almost like Old Sailor's Isle?
Doesn't really matter. You can use the portals and you go, in the Sea of the Damned version of Treasure Trove Cove or Dragon Skull or whatever. Maybe we visit the memories of Pendragon and we even visit, other locations he has been. I just want to see past Rare locations in Sea of Thieves. But all, Sea of Thieves-ified. Like it has to be this pirate flavor over it as well. Yeah.
Imagine Robin Beanlands does Treasure Trove Cove, like the theme, but in the style of Sea of Thieves.
That would be nice. He didn't compose it originally, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know. So he would have to do his own version.
Yeah, that would be really great. I would really love that. Are you familiar with Rare's other games, Ambrossa?
I was about to say I have to go and look all of those islands up because I don't really know what you guys are talking about.
Get him off the podcast. It's disgusting.
I know that the games exist. I've never played them, and I don't know the lore or the locations. But I'm all for it. If I get the chance to visit them and Sea of Thieves, I will go, and maybe then I will be like, "Oh, that's cool." I want to play the games. So then I'll go and play some rare games.
Yeah. The only thing that you need to know and our listeners need to know is that Rare has a long history of pirate themes in their video games, beginning all the way with the Pendragon games. So they have a lot of pirate themed locations in their other video games as well, and it would be nice to visit that in Sea of Thieves. And that's all.
I'm all for it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So are we ready to go to the other wishes, the wishes that were sent by our subscribers?
Yes.
All right, so let's go to them. And this segment of the podcast has a name, and it's called Messages in a Bottle. And in this segment, our listeners can send in their own questions, and in this case, wishes for us to discuss on the podcast. If you want to send your own questions, you can join the Salty Hippo Discord. Link will be in the YouTube description. So we already discussed Ilwash wish about having no more adventures with tall tales. So let's go to Captain Foxheart instead. And he says, my number one wish is for player homes in the second floor of the taverns. It could work similarly to the homes in Black Desert. So I'm not familiar with Black Desert, but how do you guys feel about player homes on the second floor of the tavern?
Maybe not on the second floor of the tavern. I feel like you could use that for something else, but player homes and hideouts would be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, not on the tavern, because then, like, whose home is it gonna be if two players visit the same outpost? That could be a problem.
It was the original idea, you know that, right? That originally the plan was to start on the second floor and wake up, and the Pirate Lord will be next to you.
Oh no, I had no idea.
But as your home.
Well, not as a home, but as a starting point of the adventure.
Right. Okay, I see.
Okay. Now I'd rather go through the portal and then emerge by some like random island in the middle of nowhere where I can like decide if I'm gonna like put a house there, put all my trinkets there, like display my cosmetics or whatever, and then I can invite friends over. That would be really dope.
Yeah, I had a similar idea.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a similar idea, Ambrossa, but make it like a separate server that you can access from the main menu, like the Maiden Voyage. And instead of the Maiden Voyage, you have your location, your hideout, and then you can decorate it with whatever. But not just, the trinkets, but also if you earn sales, you can get sales in the walls or in your caves. So a lot of sales you don't use, but you still want to display for all your buddies. And then, yeah, you can do that. And if you kill the Shrouded Ghost, you can see, like the jaws up against the ceiling or something like that. You can, make little flag posts of all the flags you've earned. And you can invite your friends and do also little quests on that hideout island to even further expand your base. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
With this idea, I do think that this year or next we'll have our own hideouts and we'll sail out of the waterfall, and this season 8 mechanic of like diving out of the water, I think that's going to be used for these hideouts.
And how would it work then? You start a game and you start in your hideout then?
In the hideout on a separate server, and when you go through the waterfall, it's treated like you'd merge to another server, like through the underwater tunnels, and you just burst out the water into the Sea of Thieves.
Okay. Yeah, and do you start then at a outpost when you burst out, or just wherever?
Just in the sea, like the place where you'd start would be your jumping off point. Or you could obviously just choose to start at a tavern anyway, or an outpost. But I think that's how they're gonna. I think that's another thing they're gonna add for us to customize, and they'll double trinkets up and things like that, and decorations for it. Because what realistically is going to be the next 3 seasons, like Season 9, I doubt it's going to be those quality of life features, because we seem to be getting those like in monthly updates, as they always should have been. So Season 9 is probably going to be something cinematic. Season 10 is probably going to be Pirates Life 2. So then what's Season 11 going to be? Probably something like that.
Maybe. It would be really cool. Yeah, I hope we get another roadmap too for 2023.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either, but it would be really cool.
Both times they've released a proper roadmap, they've had to alter it.
That's true.
No, they probably won't. Let's not forget, we need that massive cosmetics update next year.
Maybe we could we could do it with the tavern, not the tavern, sorry, with the hideouts in Season 11.
Yeah, just mash those two together, perfect.
All right. Well, anyways, thanks for that question, Foxheart. We do want it, but not on the second floor of the tavern. Next question comes from Steel Skull. My number one wish is to finally see the captain in the flesh. We finally got Flameheart back in the physical plane, and with the Dog Brethren making moves, it would be nice to see their leader finally show up to deal with Ramsey and Flameheart. Bonus if we see his pet cat Trouble and the Sea Hag from the Tales of the Sea novel, which originally sent Junior on his ill-fated quest since they were working with him. So I can't remember that cat, can you?
Yeah. So
Oh, okay. Shocking lack of knowledge.
yeah, so Trouble is found. I can't remember if he's at a ship or an outpost, but he ends up joining the crew of the Silver Blade, and catches rats for them. And he likes to live on. He likes to scratch up against Red Rosie.
Okay.
And yeah, basically he goes through all the hassle with the Silver Blade. When they get sunk, he also survives and goes to the island.
And that used to be the cat of the captain.
Yeah, it was the cat of the captain, and when the captain finds Junior, he thanks him for returning his beloved cat Trouble.
Okay, I forgot that part about the story. But yeah, his wish is
a very small part of it, to be fair.
That's still great. Now I'm even more excited to see the captain. He has a pet cat. Oh my god, I love it. But he wants to see the captain in the flesh. Do we feel similar?
I don't think we're going to see the captain in the flesh.
But do we want it?
Yeah. Well, no, because he's a skeleton, so that's why we're not going to see him in the flesh. No laughs, nothing.
I laughed. I got the joke.
Yes, we do. Of course we do. Well, I do.
How do you feel about that, Ambrossa?
I want to see the captain so I could kill him and take his cosmetics.
All right. But if you had to choose between seeing the captain as a bony figure or seeing him as a human being, what would we prefer?
Bony.
We haven't really had that many human enemies in the game that we could fight. We have the phantoms, and then we have the skeletons and the ocean crawlers, but we don't really have other live pirates apart from the players, obviously. But like a boss figure, I kind of would like to see a human. Yeah. I guess I hope we're gonna get those with the Grand Maritime Union coming in, but for the captain, I guess for lore reasons, shouldn't the captain be a skeleton?
He should, but the Dark
right.
Brethren are searching for a cure, right? So
yeah, they are. Yeah.
So they might use it on the captain. And we also don't really know his motivations yet. Maybe he does want to turn into flesh now.
Yeah, rewrite again.
Yeah, like a rewrite again. I don't know. Like I kind of agree with it. Like maybe he should stay skeleton because it matches up with the lore more. But to see him in the flesh, like we already got Flameheart as a skeleton as an enemy and the Gold Hoarder, and it would be nice to see a big bad in the flesh. Like I would prefer that, to be honest.
I want to see him as a skeleton because I'm just more intrigued about his design more than anything else. Because I just don't know what he looks like, and we knew what Flameheart Senior looked like for a long time, and the Gold Hoarder and Grey Marrow, etc., etc. But we don't even have a description of him other than he's a walking, talking skeleton. He has he has a cat. That's it.
So what about we just get a tall tale where we meet the skeleton captain and then we help him to become a human?
Exactly.
How does that sound?
That's perfect. I would love that.
Wait,
that's
sorry.
All we want.
The skeleton captain, as in the captain himself.
Yeah, the captain himself, and then we help him turn into a human.
God. I have to build that up, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy if they built it up rather than that be our first interaction with the man.
All right. But one thing we can agree, we do want to see the captain in one form or another, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Will it happen in 2023?
Yes.
Yes. It has.
I'm gonna say no.
You don't think so?
That's too soon. He's Thanos, right? It's not time for him to make an appearance yet.
He's Thanos that got beaten by Flameheart.
He needs to consolidate his power a bit more before he's there. He needs to collect some more Infinity Stones.
Maybe. Just comes in and snaps the Sea of Thieves.
Maybe, we'll see. Yeah. But not. I would want to, but I think it's a bit too soon for next year. Yeah. But either way, thanks for that question, Steel Skull. Let's go to the next one. That one is from Trickster13. My wish is to get a Monkey Island crossover or just get some new Tall Tales. Well, Tall Tales have been brought up before, so let's focus on the Monkey Island crossover. Would we like to see a Monkey Island crossover as well?
I liked the music in the Pirate's Life Tall Tales and the little Monkey Island thing. The music was nice, so yeah, if we get more music like that, I'm all for a Monkey Island crossover.
The stars seem to be aligned, right? Because the developers are talking about it a lot, about how they love the Monkey Island games. And there has been a new Monkey Island game released this year. So maybe the Orb is not teasing another Pirate's Life Tall Tale, but a Monkey Island crossover. So do you guys feel that? Do you feel it? The possibility?
Mike did say maybe as well when we asked him, didn't he?
He did. Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Well, he says it on any question we ask him, so it's not.
That's not true. He gave us lots of yes or no answers.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I watched the podcast. Mike does say no when he means no. So maybe could mean something. If we do get a Monkey Island crossover, I also want to get monkeys on islands jumping from tree to tree for the immersion.
Imagine
that would be the least, yeah.
Imagine it's not like a crossover, it's just called Monkey Island and like everyone's like really excited about it, and you get it and it's just an island full of monkeys.
I'll take it.
With the song from A Pirate's Life, the theme when you find the what's the ship called?
My Monkey Island lore is not that great, to be honest.
Could be my Mad Monkey.
I'm googling it quickly.
No matter what it's called, I just want the music to be in the game.
Yeah, that was such a vibe when you pitch up to it. It's like, it just kicks in, you're like, oh, this is great. The Sea Monkey.
Sea Monkey.
The Sea Monkey.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. So I think we all want a Monkey Island crossover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Definitely.
Do we want it? Would we prefer that over another Pirates crossover?
If Captain Hook is coming to Sea of Thieves as Captain Hook from Peter Pan, I'll take the Monkey Island crossover. If it's just normal Pirates of the Caribbean, I'll take Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'd rather have video game crossovers than movie crossovers. Yeah.
Isn't there a Peter Pan game for the SNES?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So there you go. You just got monkey paws, didn't you?
all right. But Monkey Island originated on video games, so there you go.
Fair enough.
Do you feel the same, Ambrossa? Between the two, Monkey Island or Pirates? What would you prefer?
Just because I know the Pirates of the Caribbean lore a lot more than Monkey Island, yeah, I'll probably go with a Pirate of the Caribbean. But yeah, also it depends. I would absolutely love to explore whatever they can come up with that is related to Monkey Island, because I haven't played it, so I'd love to see.
All right, fair enough. Well, the one is on Game Pass, the latest one. So if you want to play the latest for free, you can, I guess.
Are they lore related? Don't I have to play the first one to understand what's happening in the second one?
There's a recap, I believe.
Oh, okay, nice. I even didn't know that, so I'm advertising a game that I haven't played myself, but there you go.
I'm gonna be downloading that right after the podcast.
All right, great. So thanks for that question, Trickster. I think we all want to see a Monkey Island crossover. The next question comes from Captain Jägner. My only wish is for more Reaper-aligned cosmetics. For now, we are getting the bare minimum, and the potential is great. So I think you agree with that, Ray, right?
Yeah, we need the skeleton cast to be overhauled. Sorry, Ray, I know you've put effort into it, but I don't get why there just wasn't clothing ported instead of the pieces. I get you get this whole grotesque thing, but I think when people say skeletons, they want to look like the Gold Hoarder or Grey Marrow or Flameheart, not like Buckethead skeletons or giant candles.
But you can't make yourself a big skeleton like Grey Marrow. Like, that's out of the question, isn't it?
No, but the like clothing and sort of the identity's there, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
if I made a video with me as a skeleton wearing a Dark Adventurer jacket and my hair, you'd know that's my character, but now you wouldn't with the pieces.
That is the exact reason why I don't plan to play as a skeleton, only for content creation reasons when I need to have a skeleton character that is not Ambrossa in the game. So yeah, it would just be unrecognizable. they did explain why they couldn't do the whole clothing thing, because like the clothing system that they designed, it's completely different as for how the skeleton curse works, because all the clothing pieces have skin pieces attached to them. So where the clothing ends and it begins, they have also like pieces of
Oh,
skins, because
yeah.
they made it for the human character. And if you tried to somehow put those clothing pieces onto the skeleton curse, you
Mhm.
would get like skin graphics hanging off, like, and it would look super weird and not at all what people would expect. So they would have to completely rework every single cosmetic to work on the skeleton curse, which would mean like multiple years of cosmetics work just to make everything work on the skeleton curse. At least that's what they said. So
That's
Well, it
fine.
does make sense, the
I'm,
explanation,
I'm
yeah.
sure that the Pirate Emporium can miss a couple months a year for that, couldn't it?
absolutely. I
They
would
miss
have.
money, and if they have no money, we don't get seasons and adventures.
If they do it, I promise on this podcast to buy every single Emporium item till the day Sea of Thieves shuts down.
Yes, me
Alright.
too. Me too.
Just
I
do it.
won't. I'm too Dutch for that, but that's fine.
I'm too Dutch, aka I'm too tight for that.
Well, you know me. You know me.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
Just to add to
yeah.
that, in the hideout, you can see spoilers, by the way. In the Ritual of the Flame, you can see these skeleton reapers, and they've got like the reaper garb on and the half skeleton with the half sort of costume thing.
Mhm.
I'm gobsmacked that isn't an option because I would probably dress like that.
Will it ever be? You think?
Yeah,
It has to be.
I would also like some like Reaper priest vibe or like ancient priest vibe for skeletons. I think that would be cool.
I agree. And more human cosmetics, like a new robe or new hats or new weapons for the Reapers.
I would have ported like the more Reaper cosmetics first. So like DA set, obviously the Reaper costume itself, the new Reaper clothing and the season pass. That's what I would have prioritized. Then move
Mhm.
towards the more neutral stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. But is there something you're missing, like human themed Reaper cosmetics?
Absolutely. Because for example, we got the mysterious stranger clothing
Mm-hmm.
for the Guardians, and I was really happy about that. And I was happy to see actual cosmetic set in the new PvP grind. So even if I get the curse, I can still go on to expect some reward. And then for the Reapers, you get the skeleton curse and the skeleton curse options. That's great. But then again, for players like me who like their character and want to be their character, skeleton curse is pretty much out of the just out of the options completely, because it alters you to a point of basically being completely unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
So having Reaper clothing piece options for normal human clothing options, I think it would have been really, really good, especially since we got those options for Guardians.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry to circle back here, but I think it's like quite important to note. So, dividing the curse and the regular clothing Rare has made a rod for their own back here, because now whenever you release cosmetics for the skeleton curse, they don't work on normal pirates, right? So only people who have the skeleton curse can use that. But so few people are going to have the skeleton curse. I think there's like probably a few hundred now at the point of making this video. It took them 3 years to make Pirate Legend content because there was hundreds of thousands of them. So now you've got this catch-22 where they won't make new cosmetics for the skeleton curse because so few people have them. So no one wants to use the skeleton curse and no one wants to earn it because there's no cosmetics for it. But if it was made compatible like the ghost curse, let's say, no matter what new cosmetics you brought out for even the Reapers, you could use them on humans and skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now you've got this massive like division of cosmetics, which is just going to make the whole thing worse.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly I don't think we will ever see any more skeleton curse cosmetics.
No, I
Oh,
agree.
Maybe
really?
at best we will get the skeleton curse Reaper pajamas
Mm-hmm.
that the characters already have. So maybe those things.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I don't think we're gonna see anything ever again. I think
I
it's just gonna
expect,
stay.
yeah, I expect a handful of, at most, maybe one or two new sets.
Maybe they will take, I don't know, some like clothing away from like skeleton captains that already have clothing on their skeleton skins, but even those are made probably in a completely different way than the player characters. So maybe even those will not come to fruition.
All right.
It's just we don't get enough cosmetics as it is to earn, and
yeah, exactly. It
and
wouldn't
to
just
do it for like niche players. It's just not happening. Like maybe they have some all ready to go. Maybe they will come out, but new ones are definitely not going to be made for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we agree with that, Jägner. The potential is great, but will we see it happening? Chances are slimmer than the potential is. So let's go to the final wish, and that one is from Firebird. A very original wish. It's never been brought up before. My wish is that they add more wildlife to the game to fill the islands up. And we actually posed this question to Mike Chapman when we invited him, or something similar. It was about hippos. But he said that they want to add more wildlife, but first they need to think of a reason why they should. They don't want to fill the islands just to make it more lively. But if they want to make new additions, new animals, they need to serve a purpose. And I kind of agree with that. But how do you guys feel about that? More wildlife in 2023?
Whoa, hang on. Like, they need a purpose to add more wildlife, but they released Season 5, and Mike went on record saying, we just added a load of things that are pointless because, well, we can.
Well, I mean, their lore is inconsistent. Like, he can be inconsistent in his interviews as well, right?
It's like, Mike, what's the point of sitting? Oh, yeah, you can just sit. Yeah, go on. No, that's it. So why can't we have, like, swordfish and hippos and dodos and things like that? I don't know.
I know, but I don't think it's even that hard, because I made a proposal for the booty bird, which is a bird that swallows a goblet, and if you kill it, you get a goblet or other piece of treasure and a drumstick. Like, there we go. That's a new animal type, and it's different to the animals we already had. So I think you can easily make a couple of additions like that. How do you feel about that, Ambrossa?
Simple solution for this. New wildlife plus hideouts update. If you want to build your hideout and upgrade it or like make it bigger, you need to go and hunt specific wildlife to gather specific stuff to upgrade your hideout. Basically, like hideout commendations, it would be the purpose. Find like this new, maybe rare wildlife, water, land, whatever, air, and that's how you unlock some of the upgrades for your hideout.
Would you attach it to the Hunter Skull? Section?
Maybe deliver stuff from the new wildlife to the Hunter Skull, and they will send you supplies to build up your new hideout.
Yeah, I mean, sounds reasonable enough.
Simple. I think simple, reasonable would make sense.
Like, even though it's a very common wish, like, I think we all feel it, right? We need some more wildlife, right?
Yeah, so they're making.
I'd love to.
They're making steps to make the world feel more lived in with like the adventures and new golden sands. So like, why not add a bit of wildlife into the mix?
I agree. So even though that question wasn't very original, it's still a very great question, Firebird. So thanks again to those that submitted their wishes, and again, link to the Discord will be in the description. I also want to remind our listeners that this podcast is also on Spotify and Amazon Music, so if that's more convenient for you, you can listen to us there. Keep in mind that new episodes premiere on YouTube first and will be on Spotify and Amazon a few days later. And you can also follow us on Twitter at BestCOT Podcast. Link to that will also be in the description. So, we have come to the end of the final podcast of this year, and I want to thank our guest for being amazing. And can you tell our listeners where they can find your content?
You can find my content on YouTube, youtube.com/@Ambrossa and you can also find me on Twitter. So twitter.com/CPT Ambrossa.
All right. I'll make sure that link is in the description so people can just click on it and follow your Marvel Cinematic Universe in Sea of Thieves.
Hell yeah.
And A Shiny Ray, where can people find your content?
Yeah, you can find me at Shiny Ray on YouTube. You should be able to find me. Something about Captain Sea, Season 8, blah, 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 Blunderbombs, things like that. And you can find me at Shiny Ray Quasar on Twitter. Tweet me. I usually respond to all the tweets. But yeah, that's me.
All right, and you can find me at Captain Blubber on YouTube. It's actually the best Sea of Thieves YouTube channel out there. So please make sure you watch that. And also make sure to give this podcast a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. And let us know your wishes in the comments. There's no reason to stop this discussion just because the podcast ended. So if you did listen to the end, just know that you are a better person than everybody else. So thanks again for listening and take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye, guys, and keep asking Rare for cosmetics.